Hey, welcome. So today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, one that kind of flips our usual thinking on its head. What if true wealth isn't about how much you earn, but about how much you appreciate? We're going to look at this from a Christian perspective and see how gratitude can totally redefine our relationship with money and, our overall sense of peace.
I mean, we've all felt this, right? This assumption that if we just had more money, we'd automatically have more peace, or that getting more stuff would guarantee more joy. But as you can see, there's a disconnect. The two sides of the equation just don't always line up, and that leaves us with this constant nagging feeling that something's missing.
And that feeling of dissatisfaction? Well, that's what fuels the whole problem. This constant chase for more. We're living in a culture that's basically built on the idea that what you have is never quite enough. It just pushes us into this relentless cycle of wanting the next thing, the bigger thing, the better thing. It's exhausting.
But there is another way. This quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it. We can actually choose to tune out all those loud demands for more, and instead listen to this quiet, profound voice of gratitude. It's not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about changing the very lens through which we see our reality.
So how do we actually do that? How do we change the lens? Well, gratitude isn't just some passive feeling. It's an active practice. It can be as simple as starting a journal and just writing down 3 things each day you're thankful for. Seriously, that simple act starts to retrain your brain to see the abundance that's already there instead of just fixating on what you think is missing.
The Apostle Paul, writing this from a Roman prison, by the way, offers this incredible insight. He doesn't say he was just born content or that it came easily. He says he learned it. Now that is so crucial. It means contentment is a skill we can actually develop, a muscle we can strengthen, no matter what our bank account looks like.
And when you start practicing this, the effects are they're transformative. First, you just stop playing that endless soul-crushing comparison game. Then you find you can step off that treadmill of trying to keep up appearances to impress people. And finally, you start to value sufficiency, having enough, over the constant pressure to have way too much. Okay, so this all sounds good, but how does this internal shift actually translate into real-world results? Well, making that move from a mindset of not enough to one of gratitude has a direct, powerful impact on our finances. It creates a foundation for real, lasting stability.
Paul makes this connection crystal clear in a letter to his friend Timothy. He defines great gain, what we might call real wealth, not as having a ton of money, but as pairing a godly life with a contented heart. So, get this, the contentment itself is the asset. That's the real prize.
This slide just breaks the formula right down for us. The great gain isn't found by just adding luxury or constant upgrades to your life. Nope, the secret ingredient, the one that makes all the difference, is right there in bold: contentment. That, right there, is the game changer.
Now, one of the biggest enemies of contentment is a trap called lifestyle inflation. And we've all seen this. You get a raise at work, and suddenly your spending just magically rises to meet it. The car gets a little nicer, the dinners out get a little fancier, and before you know it, you feel just as financially squeezed as you did before.
And here's that cycle in action. Your income goes up, which is great, but then your spending goes up to match it, and the result is that the financial pressure doesn't actually go away. You're just on a faster hamster wheel, but you're still running in place.
So how do you break this cycle? This verse gives us the key. Gratitude and contentment, they act like a circuit breaker. They create a pause, a moment of reflection between that impulse to upgrade and the decision to actually spend. And in that pause, you can ask, is this a real need, or is this just a want that's being fueled by discontent? And that question, it gives you the freedom to choose purpose over pressure.
Just look at the difference between these two mindsets. On one side, you've got anxiety, this constant focus on getting more, using money for status. But on the other side, with a grateful heart, the whole focus shifts. It becomes about managing well, using money as a tool for service, and making intentional, thoughtful decisions. It's a whole different world.
And that's really what it all boils down to. Gratitude shifts the core question. You move from the mindset of an anxious consumer to that of a faithful steward. The goal isn't endless accumulation anymore. It's about excellent management of the resources you already have.
But this is about so much more than just budgeting and financial planning. At its core, it's about guarding your heart. And in that battle, gratitude is the anchor that holds you steady against the powerful pull of greed.
It's like there's this constant dialogue happening inside each of us. Greed whispers that seductive lie, just a little bit more, and then you'll be happy. But gratitude comes back with the steady, firm truth. Hey, look around. God has already been good. Goodness is already here.
And when gratitude wins that inner debate, everything starts to change. That need to compare yourself to others, it just fades away, and it's replaced by a deep and satisfying contentment.
And that constant pressure to perform, to acquire, to impress, it's just lifted. And in its place, you find a genuine, lasting peace.
And that exhausting, endless striving for more, it transforms into the meaningful, fulfilling work of stewardship.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, let it be this right here. Contentment. That's the real wealth we're all looking for. And gratitude? That's the guardrail that keeps you safely on that road. So let's end with a simple challenge. Before you click away or move on with your day, just take a second to answer this question. What is one thing, just one, that you have right now that you can choose to be genuinely grateful for? Because that's where it all begins.